I left my dorm at Cal Poly Pomona and made my way to my car. I hopped on the freeway and exited on Indian Hill Boulevard. As I entered Claremont, I drove through the neighborhoods and noticed not only suburban middle class homes, but came across many older upper class Victorian style homes. There are hundreds of giant trees and a lot of greenery all around, which gave the area a very welcoming and small town feel. Driving around was very convenient and quick, and I found parking almost immediately. I then met up with Brendan.
After that, we walked through the Claremont Farmers Market, and it was plain to see how it brought the community together. At the same time, the local parks were busy with events and general activity. We found the bakery without too much trouble and walked right on in.
My experience taking the bus here in Los Angeles for the first time was very stressful. It was estimated to be an hour and 4-minute ride from Cal Poly to Suncrest Bakery, but ended up being a little over a 2-hour trip for me one way. This was because of factors I couldn't really control, which is something to keep in mind when using public transit. I had to take 2 different buses only to travel about 8 miles. I took the 482 and the 197. Between the two, I had a 5 to 6 minute gap where I would have to speed walk to the next bus. I didn't think that window would be a big deal until I saw the next bus I was supposed to be on leave the stop I was walking to. I quickly looked up the time for the next arriving bus and found that the 197 only comes every hour. So I spent an hour waiting for the bus, and when it came back around, I was so glad to be back in AC. After this mix-up, it was smooth sailing from here, besides the fact that some time was added because the bus driver stopped to get lunch at a burger shop. Once I was dropped off at Claremont train station, it was only a 3-minute walk to the bakery where I ran into Sam.
Hey, it's Sam. I used the train to get to Suncrest Bakery in Claremont, California. So the reason why there's images of me taking a car is because you have to drive to a train station, and that's what I'm showing in the video, because without driving there, you can't just magically hop on a train. There's no train stations close to campus. And we were late for my train, so we had to wait there for like 40 minutes, which I would not recommend doing. However, buying the ticket was pretty easy, and riding the train itself was really easy, but it was kind of antisocial, and there was no one really to talk to, and the view wasn't anything special to speak of. However, Claremont Station was actually really quite pretty, and it's very close to Suncrest Bakery, so I simply just walked from the train station to the bakery and met up with Sella. However, I wouldn't recommend taking a train. It took me about an hour and 40 minutes, while driving would take me about 20 minutes.
Here we go, 9.8 miles. I started from my neighborhood, Charter Oak, which is located in Covina. This is when I realized I'm not wearing my Fitbit, and I am extremely out of breath from that hill I just conquered. Super glad I put on sunscreen, but also pleasantly surprised that there is a bike lane. First neighboring city is San Dimas. Look how cute their little western downtown area is. Finally, a relatively flat road with lots of shade. Thank you, Laverne. Just me on my bike, thinking why did I agree to this, and then remembering that there's pastries at the end. Pomona did not even greet me with a welcome sign. But look how sterile it is. Obvious switch up in the landscape. Oh, that's why there's been a bike lane the whole time. It's part of the Citrus Bikeway. Now we're in Claremont. I tried to make small talk with that guy, but he wasn't having it. There was no bike lane here, but it still felt relatively safe. Cute little shot of Yale Street. Had to lock up the whip. Finally, pastries.